Good evening and heartiest welcome to all this virtual workshop. I am Mohammad Arif Ali from Birla Institute of Management Technology BIMTech and host for this webinar. This session will be moderated by Dr. N. Balasubramani, who is Director with National Institute of Agricultural Extension Management, popularly known as MANAGE. It is an autonomous institution under Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, Government of India. I will now request to Dr. Balasubramani sir kindly conducting the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Arif. Thank you very much for introduction. Good morning, good afternoon to all of you. On behalf of MANAGE, the National Institute of Agricultural Extension Management and Birla Institute of Management and Technology, Noida, I extend a warm welcome to all the panelists and also all the participants for this virtual workshop on CSR for agriculture development. Under this broad theme, we have two sub-themes. Today we will be discussing on successful agriculture projects, replication and application, upscaling. So on tomorrow, our theme will be on FPOs, issues and challenges. Let me give a brief introduction of the workshop. MANAGE and BIMTech, we conduct series of workshops like this from the year 2017 onwards. Main objective of this workshop was to ensure substantial flow of CSR fund for agriculture. Because when we were discussing, we realized that there is an uneven distribution of CSR fund, because most of the CSR funds are going for sanitation and malnutrition and livelihood and other things. And even within states also, rich states are getting more fund and poor states are getting less funds. And even within the rich state also, some progressive cities are getting more compared to unprogressed states. So we thought that in order to mobilize or ensure substantial flow of CSR fund for agriculture sector, BIMTech and MANAGE, we are conducting for the last 3 years workshop every year in MANAGE. And in every workshop, we are getting very good response from the corporates, public sector, private NGOs, and good number. And they are using this platform for identifying viable project and also identifying the good partners for implementing the various project on CSR. But actually, because of this COVID situation, we are unable to conduct physical. We are unable to conduct physical program. Hence, we are conducting this year on a virtual platform. Today's purpose of today's theme is, you know that any game-changing innovations, it may be successful project or innovation or ideas or approach or model, it should give a efficiently increased socio-economic impact in a larger extent, in a larger area. But no, we all know that several projects, either maybe public sector or private or NGO, they start on a pilot basis in a small scale, and they make success also that project, and it will be halt in that stage only. Many research projects, sometimes they will conduct a pilot project and it will be successful and it will not be upscaled to larger extent. So, though small is beautiful, but big is necessary. Hence, many times policymakers and development practitioners face a fundamental challenge when designing or implementing a project. How to ultimately achieve a large-scale, effective and sustainable project. That is a very, very important thing. So, in order to discuss how to scale up the successful agriculture project, today we have with us gracious presence of 10 panelists. Actually, one panelist will be joining after half an hour, former Secretary Agriculture. And all 9 panelists are right now here with us. And they are all, they themselves are practitioners. They designed the project, they implemented project, and they made the project successful to a greater extent. And they are all having a very much experience both nationally, internationally, and they are having experience and expertise in various domains, like many are administrator, some are academician, researchers, and developmental workers. Some are national expert and some are international experts also. We are fortunate to have a very good mix of panelists having different domain knowledge and experiences. First of all, I would like to thank them for accepting our request to be a part of this panel in this workshop. And also, I extend a warm welcome to all the panelists for this workshop. And also, you may be happy. In fact, we are happy that this topic has received a very good response. More than 1,100 people have registered for this program. And right now, 220 are with us now. I think many people would like to join in the due course. And I extend a warm welcome to all the participants also for their encouragement and also for interest in this program. I am sure that this deliberation with all these experienced experts and insight emanating from this workshop will help the participants, implementation participant and also all the policymakers for implementing existing many people, those who are attending, maybe implementing some of the project. So the success criteria or the success factor will be helpful for them to adopt or modify the existing project. And also those who wanted to design some new program, definitely their experiences during discussion will be useful for designing and also implementation of the project. So the protocol of this workshop, because of the limited time or specified time available for us, so normally I request all the panelists to conclude their presentation or remarks within the specified time of 10 minutes. So I will be making a gentle reminder at the 8th minute so that they can, within 2 minutes, they can wind up their presentation. And after completing all their presentation, the question and answer session will be there. Those who are the participants, those who are interested to ask any question, kindly post your question in the question and answer section available in the platform, not in the chat box. So our team will select, because all the questions will not be answered and we will not be having time to answer all the questions. So we will select a few of them and post a relevant question to the panelist. So with this small introduction, once again, I extend a warm welcome to all the panelists and also all the participants to this workshop. First of all, I would like to welcome Dr. Ravinder Pastor Sir to share his experiences on e-puzzle. And for the sake of all the participants and panelists, Sir was in Indian Administrative Service and served in various capacities with the government of MP. After his retirement, he started his own venture, e-puzzle, for welfare of farmers community. He is known, respected, and sought for his innovative, disruptive, and inclusive works in which every department he was served. A visionary, a thinker, philosopher, and social entrepreneur to his very core. Sir, we are very fortunate to have you in this occasion. On behalf of all the participants and behalf of BIMTON and Manage, I extend a warm welcome once again. Please, over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Bala. And good afternoon to everybody. And we are really grateful to Mr. Sharma to giving this opportunity to interact with all of you. So first of all, if we understand correctly what is the problem in Indian agriculture sector. So in my opinion, we have two laws. One law is the law of inheritance and second law is Agriculture Ceiling Act. So when father will die, then land will divide in legal heirs, and fathers are dying every day and land are dividing every day. Second is the Agriculture Ceiling Act. So due to this Agriculture Ceiling Act, individual person cannot buy land which is limited in the Ceiling Act. So these two factors are creating impediment in developing big farms or big operation in agriculture sector. So most of the farmers are now small and marginal farmers, and the average land holding is around 1.17 hectares. So when you have a small portion of land, your input requirement is also very low. So there are 4% between factory and farmer. So when you buy your agri input, you have to pay 4% profit. Quality is not assured and availability is also not assured. On the other hand, when you grow something, you have to go in the market. So in the commodity market, there are three people which are the end user. One is wholesaler, second is the processor, and third is the wholesaler. Exporter. So wholesaler, processor, and exporters, and they have three basic conditions. These are the market basic conditions. They need huge quantity, same quality and consistent quality, and third is the competitive price. Again, these small and marginal farmers are not able to fulfill these three basic conditions of the market. So there are 6 to 12% in the supply chain, which is between the end user, that is wholesaler, processor, and exporter, and farmers. And you know, now in Indian agriculture sector, every commodity price is depend on international market and national market. It is not local or state driven price. So the commodity information is with the exporters, processors, and wholesalers. And between there are 6 to 7 people. So farmer will get their price to reducing the profit of 6 people. So in the one hand, they are purchasing the very high costly input and selling with the lowest price in the market. So what we can do, because these two conditions are never going to change in India. MSP is the one, but MSP, as we see, only 8% farmers are getting MSP and 92% farmers are selling their crop outside the MSP domain. So that is also not helpful for them. So what can we do as an entrepreneur? So if we look last 15 or 20 years agriculture sector, naturally our agriculture are more driven by the market than driven by the policies. So when we are talking about driven by the market, there are crop-wise clusters have started developing on the ground. If you take the example of Madhya Pradesh, so there are 42,000 hectares for potato, 22,000 hectares for chili, 35,000 hectares for onion, and 38,000 hectares for garlic, and 49,000 for oranges. Apart from these crops, there are cluster for paddy, cluster for soybean, cluster for wheat, cluster for maize. So already the cluster have started developing according to the market. But still farmers, those who are growing the same crop, they are purchasing their input individually. So suppose if there are 42,000 hectares under potato, roughly 30,000 farmers are growing potato. So 30,000 times they are going to buy pesticide, 30 times they are going to buy seed, and 30,000 times they are going to buy fertilizer. And they grow 6-7 type of varieties, and then they go to the market for 30,000 times. Also in this process, on the both the end, they are not able to bargain, and market is dictating prices at both the end. So here is the opportunity is come. If suppose these for 30,000 potato growers, if 5 or 6,000 farmers can come together under the FPO or cooperative society or farmer club or any trust or anything, and they will grow the same variety and their package of practice will be the same, then they can have huge quantity with same quality. And if their input is coming simultaneously, then they can sell with competitive price. So this is the basic premises of working through eFasal. So eFasal is an electronic farming solution associates private limited company, which we have registered in 2017, and now we are working in Madhya Pradesh. So this is the franchisee model. So we are trying to identify the players in the agriculture sector, those who want to come together and work together. So we will develop them with franchisee and agreement. We called them associate, and we have taken the licenses for supplying agri input like seed, fertilizer, pesticide, bio, micronutrient, horticulture seed, cattle feed, and machine and equipment. So right now, IFSL have 185 companies in their board, and they are supplying material of more than 600 shopkeepers in Madhya Pradesh. So we will collect the demand, we will negotiate with the price with the manufacturers, and supply to our franchisee. So those shopkeepers or FPOs or seed cooperatives taken the franchisee from IFSL, they need not to take dealer or distributorship from the companies. So when they are not taking dealer or distributorship from the companies, so they can save around 42 lakhs of rupees. Otherwise, they have to deposit this money with the companies. So we will give them the statutory requirement papers like O-Farm for fertilizer and principal certificate for seed and pesticide. And whenever they need, there is no target tagging, and this is the brand neutral platform. So whatever brand is popular in their area, they will take from us. On the other hand, we have also tied up with some processors. So we are supplying directly from the farmer, or in some cases, if we are going to sell to exporters or processor, of they want graded commodity, then we buy through our franchisee and supply to the factory. So right now we have tie up with the soybean processors. We are supplying garlic, potato, coriander, maize, and other crops in the market. So for developing the same package of practice, this center, franchisee center, we called it CCD, Collection Cum Distribution Center. So through this center, typically 350 or 400 farmers we linked with this center, and then they start collecting the demand from the farmers and supply the input to them. And we also gradually moving to the same package of practice. We have experimented this module when I was in government. So in 2004-5, I have registered 17 producer company, and the USP of those companies is they are commodity based and their package of practice was the same. So right now those companies are doing business or from 9 CR to 22 CRs, and one of the poultry company which later on taken by the Pradhan, before COVID they are
2 more minutes, kindly wind up.
Yeah. So before COVID, their business is 350 crores of rupees. So the same package of practice can solve the problem of marketing, and agriculture can become the profitable venture if without pooling the land, we can fulfill the market conditions. So thank you for giving the opportunity.
So thank you very much, sir. Because as per your understanding, actually discussion, we are understanding that we have to first understand the needs of the farmer, and because our farmers are very small, we have to group them and aggregate them. And thank you for creating a very wonderful technology enabled and efficient supply chain, which is linking not only manufacturers, farmers, and also reducing their level of intermediaries. Definitely it will benefit the farmer, and farmers will be benefiting or realizing the benefit because of the aggregations. Because of the aggregation, definitely farmers will be benefiting. And this platform is not only efficient input delivery, but also integrating other services also. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now we have another renowned panelist, Shri Singh ji. He has a rich cross-institutional background. He served in the Indian Economic Service for a decade and in UNDP India from 1992 to 2009 as an assistant resident representative. He is currently Senior Advisor UNDP. He has authored a few popular books. Only to say few. One is on creating vibrant public-private panchayat partnership, and another title of the book is Structural Innovation for Inclusive Development in Bihar. So he is propagating some Sarvodaya Sagar model. So I request sir to explain his experiences, share his experiences.
Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure to join. How much time do I have? 10 minutes?
10 minutes, sir.
Okay. Now, so I'll talk about one Navodaya Shahar model, which I wrote about in the context of Bihar, and also some work that we are doing with women farmers under a Disha project of UNDP. See, in 2012, I looked at Bihar, the growth prospects, and suddenly realized that Bihar is caught in a demographic structure with 13% urbanization, and it could not go further also because of a particular set of circumstances. Now, that is one major thing. The rural landlessness was very, very high. The access to human development services beyond primary education, etc., was not improving. So I found that Bihar is caught in a structural logjam. Its credit deposit ratio was as low as 32%, which means Bihar was basically exporting capital to other states for their development. So I put together a certain model, and basically it says as follows, that in the kind of situation in which Bihar was, you could not deal with schemes looking at income alone or human development services alone. You needed a more integrated approach of addressing what I call the triple bottom line of the Aam Aadmi, which was access to assets, access to human development services, and also access to livelihood opportunities which emerge out of that. And let me give you an example of what I mean. In many of the North Bihar districts, the urbanization ratio is as low as 7%, 8%. Now, even agriculture cannot flourish in that kind of a situation because you will have very low infrastructure, no markets, etc., etc. Also, people will, higher banks will not come. So basically, the point that I wrote is that in that kind of a situation, agriculture is not simply a sectoral agenda. Agricultural development needs to looked at as a strategy for much deeper regional development. And the concept that I promoted, I recommended there was that Bihar, if you travel in the rural areas, you see a lot of urban towns, the urban habitats where you get tea, you get other things. But because of lack of policy incentives, they stagnate at that level. They become very squalid rural clusters or semi-urban clusters, etc. So my recommendation basically was that land reforms in Bihar had failed repeatedly, and even Nitish Kumar in 2005 tried this through Bandyopadhyay committee. What I said was that you need to change the approach and go for a land reform plus approach, which means land reforms not just for agriculture, but for creating a diversified livelihood base. And basically there is a model of FAO which says that home and garden plots program, home and garden plots of 380 square meters or 3 katthas, if run well, can give you a livelihood equal to almost 300 days of wage labor. So what I suggested was that you needed to create these home and garden plots, but cluster them in around 5,000 households or Navodaya Shahar models. There are examples of this happening automatically. It happens, but it dies down if there is no public support. So my recommendation was to create 6 to 8 in a district, which would ensure that no place in the district was more than 10 to 15 kilometers away from a developed habitat. So basically, this has been the finding that, you know, if anything is too much away from an urban linkage, it has those habitats, those areas lost in terms of income post liberalization. So the idea was to really create a new tier of urban centers which could give assets to people, and by having a small home and garden plot, they could have access to human development services. And in fact, I predicted, that book predicted the migrant crisis. Basically, it said that, you know, 2 out of 3 able-bodied people from rural Bihar migrate out. But whatever they earn, and totally they earn quite a lot in aggregate terms, but they are not able to invest properly back home to improve their standard of living. It just meets their food need and health episodes, and they remain where they are, and the migration continues. So, and there are studies which show that 2 out of, you know, around 2/3 of the migrants want to return back home once their earning objectives have been met in many years, but they want to return to a habitat which has markets, which has a cinema hall, which has you know, transport facilities, etc. So the agriculture agenda now needs to expand to include all these kinds of things also, and develop in a synergistic way. Looking narrowly at crop production, etc., will take it so far, but no further in that kind of a situation. So this was the Navodaya Shahar model. Now let me just talk in 1 or 2 minutes about what we are doing under the Disha project on economic empowerment of women in UNDP. We realized that many of the FPOs, etc., don't work because, you know, people from urban areas go there, there is a project, they go back after that. If we develop the capacity of women to not only be good farmers, but to become managers in their value chain, then a permanent solution to capacity in rural areas will get created. So we did an experiment by creating mini MBA course, a 6-month course, where they were attached with some good institutions, but they worked largely on their own FPO, milk cooperatives or agri cooperatives, etc., etc. And they learned a lot. So what we want to suggest, the Indian skilling system has been somewhat, not somewhat, in fact, quite skewed. It is basically oriented to creating low-skilled workforce for urban areas. Now the time has come where we need to refocus the whole skilling system also back to rural areas, and prepare rural youth for higher level aspirational job roles in the rural value chains, etc. And women have a special role to play. You know, the workforce participation rate of women has fallen to less than 20%. And women, 70% of the farmers are women. So the whole issue, agricultural agenda, has to include women, their role, how they can get advanced, and how we create more aspirational job roles for the educated next generation. See, now rural youth doesn't necessarily want to go to Hyderabad or Bangalore. They cannot survive in 10,000 rupees. They want to stay back, but they don't want to become a farmer necessarily or an artisan and work with their hands. So how do we in these FPOs, etc., create many aspirational opportunities for them in agriculture, in related processing areas, etc., etc. That's the agenda that I see. Thank you so much. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, sir. Your message is very much valid that a set of activities should work on convergent way to achieve a basic three aspect of common man, that is income, asset creation, and human development. You rightly said that it is possible only if agriculture play a special role. So you're also advocating that rural women should occupy managerial role in rural value chain for their empowerment and to reverse the trend of declining female workforce participation rate in India. It's very, very relevant, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Now actually, our former Secretary Saab has joined here. Shri Siraj Hussain Saab has joined. Sir, I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. Very happy to welcome you. I request sir to give an overall view of macro and micro's perspective about Siraj Hussain sir. He was an Indian Administrative Service Officer and served in various capacities with Government of UP and retired as a Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India. He is now Senior Visiting Fellow with Indian Council of Research on International Economic Relation. He is a prolific writer on issues of economic development and agriculture and having immense administrative experience of various fields. So thank you very much, sir, for participating here. Over to you, sir. Sir, audio please unmute it, sir. Sir, kindly unmute your audio, sir.
Good afternoon, namaskaram everyone. Thank you Manage and BIMTech for inviting me. Manage is a very fine institution which I have visited several times, and I know that it has been doing a great job in not only training students to become MBAs in agriculture marketing, but also in providing training to would-be entrepreneurs who can set up businesses in agriculture. So very well done, Manage, and I hope you will continue to do your good work. Now, these last few months have been extraordinary. One had never imagined that anything in this world can ever bring the entire globe to its knees. So there is no country in the world which has not been affected. There is no economy which has not been adversely impacted. And there is hardly any sector of economy which has come out unscathed. In these circumstances, I think not only the agriculture sector, but even other sectors of economy have faced a lot of heat. In fact, agriculture has done slightly better than other sectors because it was mostly located in rural areas, and the atrocities of police somehow were less in the rural sector than in the urban areas, even though in the initial part of the lockdown we saw many transporters, farmers, etc. being beaten up, as a result of which the mandi operations were disrupted, and farmers found it difficult to sell their produce. In many cases, the prices crashed at the farmers level and the prices spiked at the mandi level. So, but then the government did a very good job of doubling the allocations under the public distribution system, as a result of which there was no major report of anyone dying of starvation. It is true that some people suffered a great deal during the process of migration, and there was no one to look after them. Many of them died on railway lines, some of them died at railway platforms, some of them on the road in road accidents, and a few may have also died of hunger. But broadly speaking, the country's PDS system, public distribution system, served us well, and mass starvation or mass hunger was not reported from any part of the country. So on the whole, the food management was quite well managed. Now, coming to CSR, we have seen that among the 130 India-based organizations by listed companies, 80% were able to actually utilize their CSR funds. But that was in FY19, financial year 2018-19. I do not know what is the figure in 2019-20, but I have seen that generally speaking, there has been a lot of enthusiasm in the companies in utilizing the CSR funds. And I do not know how much of those funds have actually gone to agriculture, but I do know that several companies have done a good job in taking up agricultural projects out of CSR funds. So for example, HDFC Bank took a very good project for providing assistance in soil and water conservation, water management, etc. And it spent some 93 crore rupees in funding that project. Another good project which was done was by Bank of Maharashtra, again soil and water testing. Mahindra and Mahindra came up with a very good project in which small and marginal farmers were provided training in soil health, crop planning, etc. Now, what has happened is there are many good examples of CSR intervention through which the companies reach the farmers, but then as it happens in case of agriculture projects, they are very small and you do not see any, at the national level, you do not see a bullet train running, from here to there, which will be liked by the middle class people and which will be reported on electronic media and print media, or which will become a Twitter trend. So the agriculture projects by their very nature are dispersed because they benefit very small marginal farmers in rural areas where media has a very limited reach. So even though I'm sure that many of these projects would have done a great job in skilling the farmers in better cultivation practices, improving the environment and sustainability of projects, improving the watershed management. There was a project taken up by Rural Electrification Corporation, or improving the horticulture and animal husbandry supply chains. So I'm sure many of these things would have happened, but I'm not aware if there is any proper documentation of all the good work which has been done under the CSR projects. Now, in the year 2021, I do not know what is the future of CSR spending, because now there is a very strong competitor in the form of PM CARES Fund. And it is felt that a lot of companies may prefer giving the money to PM CARES Fund rather than spending on their own for their own CSR projects. We do not know whether the PM CARES Fund will be spending money on agriculture and rural development projects. We also do not know whether this data will be released, whether we will even get to know how these funds are being spent. So 2021 poses a peculiar challenge where it is possible, I do not know whether it will actually happen or not, but it is possible that the spend on CSR in agriculture sector, the money available for CSR spend on agriculture sector may actually be lower than in 2019-20. I must say that there are several good projects, excellent projects, I'm aware, which have brought transformation to several farming communities who have been helped through CSR. For example, Tata Energy Research Institute ran a project in Kullu, Kinnaur, and Shimla districts in Himachal Pradesh, where the apple farmers have been helped by way of water conservation, improved practices, better seed management, etc. Similarly, Mahindra and Mahindra's project for seeds called Seed the Rise was a very good project. So there are several good examples of CSR projects actually helping. I do not know if Manage has come out with any compilation of such good work, but I do feel that we need to document these efforts and expose our students of Manage, BIMTech and other educational institutions to agriculture sector, because now the government has done a good job of opening up the agriculture sector. These three bills which have been passed by the parliament may bring a lot of transformation. And I have written several times that whether we like it or not, the mandi system will find it very difficult to compete with the trade area where there are no taxes. So it is quite likely that trade will move out of APMC areas. So it is up to the companies and the research institutions, the educational institutions to document what is happening. So for example, Kharif crop will come in another 2 weeks' time. It will start arriving in the markets. So somebody should be there in the mandis and outside the mandis to see what is happening on the ground. Whether the cotton farmers are receiving a fair price outside the APMCs in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, whether the paddy farmers or the maize farmers are getting a fair price, what is the benchmark as far as pricing is concerned, how are the farmers benchmarking, who is buying from farmers outside the APMCs, are they being paid the same day, or are the farmers being forced to sell their crop on credit? It will be very awkward that farmers may be required to provide credit to trade because with all its deficiencies, the APMCs actually ensured that farmers are paid even if there was a delay, but generally speaking, there were hardly any instances of farmers not being paid for their produce. Now that the trade area is totally devoid of any control or regulation, and only on the basis of a PAN card somebody can purchase agricultural commodities, it is possible that some farmers may be cheated. So somebody has to document that. I will request BIMTech and Manage both to send their students to such areas and document what is happening on the ground. So with these words, I think I would like this conference to deliberate on the future roadmap of agriculture and how the CSR funds can be used to document the success stories, especially the outcome of these three bills which have been passed by Parliament and which will become act once the President of India gives his acceptance. So thank you very much, and I do look forward to your publication on the role of CSR in improving the Indian agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for excellent message. Actually, we are very happy to have you. And as you suggested, sir, all the sector has affected due to the pandemic, except agriculture. Only agriculture is surviving, maybe because of our best management system and institutional mechanism established in the country, and because of the farmers' efforts, best efforts. And we conducted for the last 3 years a CSR workshop, and very good, as you suggested, sir, very good works they have done. Good project, innovative projects, and they're all transformed the entire system in their project area. But as you said, maybe media coverage is very less and documentation is also very less. Area which require more importance focus. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Shall I request now Mr. Ganesh Neelam to share his experiences of Lakpati Kisan model. Actually, Dr. Ganesh Neelam is with Tata Trust and Executive Director of its Collectives for Integrated Livelihood Initiative. He is guiding spirit behind the Lakpati Kisan Smart Village program, focusing on meeting the aspirations of more than 1 lakh small and marginal farmers in central India. Apart from this role, he is also director for the Foundation for Innovation and Social Entrepreneurship. Over to Dr. Ganesh.
Thank you very much, sir. I actually am not a doctor. So, my name is Ganesh Neelam. I work with Singh, and thanks a lot for inviting me to share our experiences of the Lakpati Kisan program. So we basically coined this word of Lakpati Kisan program sometimes in 2015, the start of 2015, and this basically came to us with a very strong feedback from Mr. Tata, who's the chairman of Tata Trust, wherein when we were basically presenting to him our work on tribal communities in central India, he basically told us very categorically that you guys are only happy with incremental changes that you are trying to get for the small and marginal farmers. So like we were working on paddy, we were working on maize, and Mr. Tata said ki I am not too happy with these incremental changes that you are trying to look for the small and marginal farmers. Are you really trying to understand the aspirations that these communities have? What are they aspiring for? And you just doing small projects here and there, I'm not too happy. You guys should go back, engage with the community, engage with your partners, and really come and understand what is the change that the communities need, and let us define a program that will basically address those requirements of the community in this, basically the aspirations of the community. And when we started interacting with the communities in these tribal geographies, we basically were told by these communities, and very clearly and articulatively by the women, that they need at least about 10 to 15,000 rupees a month as an income at that time, about 5 years back. And this basically came up for us to work with the community and come up with this program design of saying, ki, let's look at an income of 1.5 lakh rupees to 1.8 lakh rupees over a year in a manner that it continues year on year. It does not basically get good in 1 year and goes bad in the other year. So what do we need to do? And we basically said we'll only focus on agriculture and allied livelihoods that the communities have. And because we work in tribal geographies, we know they have land parcels, though they are small land parcels, fragmented land parcels, but they do have land parcels. So that basically led to the design of the Lakpati Kisan program, which we started about 5 years back in April 2015, with more than 100,000 families in the states of Jharkhand, Orissa, Gujarat, and Maharashtra. Again, we took tribal pockets or tribal blocks which are more than 50% tribal population. So a block, like for example, a Khunti block in Jharkhand, having more than 50% tribal population. So that was also a criteria which we basically articulatively said, we'll only look at those blocks which are more than 50% tribal and also which are small and marginal. And our program engagement has been through women. So we basically initially started engaging with women, and through the women, we started working with the family because like Pastor sir mentioned, women play a very important role on agriculture, as all of us know. So that basically led to the design of the Lakpati Kisan program. And we basically said that there are certain principles that which are non-negotiables for us within the program. And these basically came from the community also when we were designing the program. So the first and foremost principle is the program has to be around the community. So it's a community-centric program with women being at the center and their institutional structure. So it could be a producer group, a self-help group, a federation, a farmer producer organization, whatever that structure which is relevant to that particular geography cluster. It has to be all, the program has to all be revolved around these institutions on ground. The second principle which we started coming up very strongly was it should be a demand-led program. It should not be something which is a supply-driven, which normally happens like you go in a field area and say, okay, I'm giving you this things. We said, let's not do it in that manner. We said, let us understand from the community what their demands are and whether they are ready to contribute for that particular demand to be met. We are ready to provide some support, financial support, technical support, but they also need to contribute for this program. And that's how it became a program which was demand-led. The third important principle was market-driven. So we very clearly and strongly articulated along with the community that if you have to give an income of more than 1.5 to 1.8 lakh rupees annually to the family, which are small and marginal, you can't just do paddy, wheat, or paddy maize type of crops. You need to get into high-value agriculture, which is mainly vegetable and horticulture. And that high-value agriculture also needs to understand what the market is demanding, rather than just cultivating anything which can later on have challenges while selling it in the market. So how do you understand the market demand? And then also you are doing your cultivation practices in that manner. And we introduced a lot of technology in this space. And the last one being, we said, let us be innovative and not stereotype. Like in most of the NGO cases, you go with the very stereotype engagement that I will spend about a year and a half to promote the community, build their capacities, then I will add on a layer. We said it has to be innovative in terms of processes wherein you are doing multiple things with the community at the same time. and you're also integrating a lot of technologies for the communities to take up and build the program on. So that basically these principles we have been following up for the last 5 years, and we have ensured that we as well as the community leaders understand the principles and they abide to these principles whenever the program is basically being executed and scaled up. So with these principles, we said, let us look at agriculture. So we looked at the food crops as well as high value agriculture. Now these geographies, the tribal geographies, they have a very good opportunity for taking up vegetables which have a very strong market demand. So we started looking at what is the market demanding in states like Jharkhand, Orissa, and we went on crops like tomato, eggplant, chili. Like now we are like I think Pastor Sir mentioned it very nicely, that you need to create those production clusters. And we basically through the program have tried to work on those production clusters of what particular geography would be saying ki, yes, this is known for a particular crop. So like Santhal Pargana in Jharkhand, we are calling it as a chili hub. It has come up very articulatively by the community. They said that there are 3-4 crops, but they saw that chili becomes a very important crop. They're doing the others, but chili is the main crop. So with that, the chili hub, now we are able to engage with marketplace also to come and interact, give a better price, and see how the inputs also can be very clearly articulated and given to the community. So we looked at agriculture with high value agriculture, integrated it with irrigation assets. Irrigation assets have been mostly for groups, not individuals. And we looked at assets which can basically also look at water management, not only extraction, but also looking at water management. The second was livestock. Because we are working in tribal geographies, we basically worked with small ruminants. So looking at goats and pigs in tribal areas, again in Jharkhand, piggery is a very prominent livelihood opportunity. So we started working on that. And the
Ganesh, if you do not have any internet problem, you can come with video. It will be more.
Sir, I have some challenge, sir. That's the reason I was not able to, because it's going off for some reason, sir.
Okay.
So sorry for that. And the third was basically because again we were working in forest geographies in tribal areas of Jharkhand and Orissa. We looked at the non-timber forest produce. Again, we looked at LAC and TUSSER as the main NTFPs in the area. And one of the important principles that we also looked at was how do we layer livelihoods. So rather than only focusing on, say, agriculture for a particular family, and because we knew that they also depend on agriculture, livestock, in some cases NTFP, we also said let us look at a livelihood layering for a family. So agriculture plus livestock, agriculture plus NTFP. How do we bring this combination of layerings for the family, which will enhance their livelihood, also help them manage risks during, say, if there is a drought here, then agriculture may not result with a good income, but they have an alternative which is very strongly and clearly articulated by them to take it up. So that's what we call as livelihood layers in the program design that we have been focusing on. And of the 100,000 families, nearly 90% families have a livelihood layering. So it is agriculture plus livestock, or agriculture plus NTFP, or agriculture livestock NTFP. And we are also seeing with agriculture, there is an income of say 60,000 rupees from say 30-40 decimal of land. Then livestock is giving about 30,000. NTFP adds on another 30-40,000. So that basically layering is also helping them reach that Lakpati mark. In some cases, agriculture itself is giving a income of more than 1 lakh. But we also said, let's not take that risk of only intensively being on agriculture, but look at a combination of these livelihood opportunities for the families. Fortunately for us, we had a lot of learnings from the program. We always had a feeling that the communities would not adopt to such an approach, which is very intensive. We have to deliver in 5 years on the results, and the community would not take up new technologies. They would be risk averse on taking technologies. But fortunately for us, the communities have been very forthcoming. They took risks on drip irrigation and mulch. Again, not a new thing, but for the geographies wherein we were working, it's a fairly new thing. And now we nearly see 60-70% of these small farmers are under drip and mulch agriculture.
Kindly take 2 minutes, 2 more minutes.
Yes, I'm just wrapping it up. And lastly, because we have been able to complete the 5 years of the program, we now have about 45,000 families of the 100,000 families who have reached that Lakpati mark. So they are more than about 1.3, 1.4 lakh rupees of income. This is an incremental income from their baseline income, and these geographies where we work, the baseline income we had done a survey was about 35,000 rupees. So we could see an incremental of income of more than ₹1 lakh for these families, and this is a year on year. So we also capture data from the field very systematically. On a year on year basis, we are seeing that change happening. Fortunately for us, the government of Maharashtra liked this idea. Now in terms of scaling, again, like you mentioned, you do it at a level, but how it needs to be scaled. So now government of Maharashtra is working with us in Chandrapur district, again a tribal district, to scale this up to another 60,000 families. We are doing something similar with the Orissa Livelihood Mission, to scale the Lakpati Kisan program along with the government. So this is opportunity that we are seeing for scale up of such a program, wherein we worked for a period of 5 years and have been able to show some good results on the program. I will also send the presentation, sir. I am not able to show it because of the network, but I will send that presentation also for you to see it. Thanks a lot. This was broadly what our journey has been in the last 5 years on the Lakpati Kisan program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ganesh ji, for sharing a very interesting and wonderful success story of Lakpati Kisan model. Lifting more than 1 lakh farmers above poverty is an extraordinary thing and great service, actually. What I understand, some of the learning points is, one is we are working for the minimum 5 years in the society, because not like training in one village and exposure visit for the farmers in another village, it will not make a sustained income, and we cannot show any development. Second thing is we are making community as a center, and community driven development is happening, and especially women aided development, and also you are making all round development. That is also one of the success criteria, and the layering the interventions. Infusion of innovation, technology, investment is also one of the important things learning, and promotion of rural entrepreneurship and enterprise, and creation of decentralized and community-based assets also one of the things, and maybe you are leveraging the trust of Tata Trust with other partner institute.
True.
And also your success is again with other line, leveraging your success with the other line departments and states like Maharashtra and Odisha. That is one of the great learnings for us. Thank you very much for
Thank
sharing.
you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite the next panelist, Mr. Sunil Srivastava. He is a professional water expert, winner of Water Hero Contest from Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India. Currently, he is head water security for rural transformation in Reliance Foundation. Mr. Sunil works on a one-point agenda of making villages fully water secure. With focused approach, more than 500 villages became drought resilient, and scale up this program in more than 3,000 villages in 12 states in India. So they are doing a wonderful work on water. I request Sunil ji to share his experience. Sunil, Dr. Sunil, over to you.
Thanks, Dr. Bala Subramani and Professor Sharma. And good afternoon to all. Reliance Foundation is set up in the 2010 to manage the philanthropic arm of the Reliance Group of Industries. Our focus areas are many more. Rural transformation is one of them. And we work directly with the community, forging partnership and collaborations and leveraging technology. In the rural area, we understood the pain points. There are frequent droughts. एक साल ड्राउट होगा, एकदम सूखा होगा तो भी क्रॉप डैमेज होगा. अगले साल देखेंगे तो फ्लड होगा तो भी क्रॉप डैमेज होगा. जो भी हो, ड्राउट हो या फिर फ्लड हो, क्रॉप को डैमेज होना ही है. इन सब परिस्थितियों में एग्रीकल्चर अनसिक्योर है. ड्रिंकिंग वाटर का भी इशू है. देयर इज क्वालिटी ऑफ ड्रिंकिंग वाटर एंड आल्सो द क्वांटिटी एंड अवेलेबिलिटी. वुमेन हैज टू ट्रेवल for the drinking water for a long distance. So the marginal farmers are migrating for livelihood. Malnutrition in women and children are prevalent and more than 50% in the country. There is only one solution, that is rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting solution everyone knows. There is one solution that is very simple. We can catch the rain where it falls, but we have observed some challenges. Challenges of availability of technical personnel in the remote areas, resource crunch, funds का कमी हमेशा रहता है. Natural resources are scarce, they are depleting day by day, so the cost of natural resources are higher for the raw material. If the raw material for the construction is available, then the sites are very remote, so there is a challenge. And availability of centering technical material is also a challenge, and transportation also. Skilled personnel is not available, and the cost of structures are used that is not affordable to farmers, and highly dependency on the external agencies like contractors. People think the small houses can be built in the village by themselves with the local available mason, but water harvesting can't do. मैंने कई बार क्वेश्चन किया कई लोगों से, इवन इंजीनियर से, वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग कौन कर सकता है? तो आंसर एक ही आता है, या तो गवर्नमेंट कर सकती है, कॉर्पोरेट्स हो सकते हैं, एनजीओ जिनके पास फॉरेन फंडिंग है. तो फार्मर नहीं हो सकता कि नहीं हो सकता? फार्मर क्यों नहीं हो सकता? कि फार्मर को मालूम नहीं है कि कितना पैसा खर्च होगा और इसमें टेक्नोलॉजी क्या है. उनको यही मालूम है कि ये जो भी वाटर से रिलेटेड वर्क होगा उसमें इंजीनियरिंग स्किल की जरूरत है, हाई लेवल के इंजीनियर्स इसको कंप्लीट करेंगे कॉन्ट्रैक्टर के थ्रू, हम नहीं कर सकते. तो हमें लगा कि हमें इसमें क्या करना चाहिए. तो वी थॉट इनोवेशन फॉर द वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग ऑन टेक्नोलॉजी फ्रंट. टेक्नोलॉजी है, उस पर हमें इनोवेशन हमें करना चाहिए. प्रोसेस सिंपल हो और जो भी इनोवेशन हो सिंपलिसिटी उसमें होना चाहिए, इससे हर कोई फील कर सके यस आई कैन डू इट. और मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली इट शुड बी अफोर्डेबल. जब इनोवेशन की बात आती है तो हमें लगा कि अफोर्डेबिलिटी का जो टर्म है वो ये होना चाहिए कि फार्मर्स उसको अफोर्ड कर सके. हमने एक होलिया इंटरवेंशन लिया है डिस्ट्रिक्ट पाटन गुजरात में. डिस्ट्रिक्ट पाटन इज द हाई saline area. Below 40 feet there is abundant water, but it is saline, could not be used for the drinking as well for irrigation purpose. So we chose 40 feet soil strata to absorb the water. So just 40 feet deep drill the hole through this machine and inserted a perforated pipe and around the gravel filled in that, and one soak pit type is constructed. This is the after construction of the holia, and this you can see the holia is discharging water for the irrigation. People are using water for the household other use other than drinking, and if water is okay then they can use for the drinking and the irrigation for purpose. District Collector Patan appreciated the efforts and advised to DRDA Patan to scale up this intervention to the whole district through the MGA and RGA funds. People are taking by themselves also, because this cost, you will be wonder, the cost of this holia is between 10,000 to 15,000. अगर 10,000 रुपीज 12,000 रुपीज खर्च किया जाता है तो एक फार्मर की लाइफ एकदम चेंज हो सकती है. इसमें हम एक छोटा सा फिल्म देखते हैं. During the high flood, recharge the water, and during lean period, the water can be used for the irrigation purpose. So we can see the holia is a game changer technology. जहाँ भी होलिया जिन लोगों के साथ हुआ है उनका इनकम सर्टेनली 1.5 lakhs पर हाउस होल्ड से ज़्यादा हो गया है, और इसका पेबैक पीरियड इज वेरी वेरी मच मिनिमल. again come back to the whole year. And the next technology is फेरो टेक्नोलॉजी. इन द फेरो सीमेंट टेक्नोलॉजी, जैसा मैंने पहले प्रेजेंटेशन में बताया लास्ट स्लाइड में कि कंस्ट्रक्शन मटेरियल बहुत कम है, चैलेंजेस इश्यूज हैं, सेंटिंग मटेरियल नहीं मिलता है, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का इश्यूज है. तो फेरो सीमेंट टेक्नोलॉजी जो वेल्ड मेश वायर मेश होता है, हमने ट्री गार्ड देखा होंगे, ट्री गार्ड में वेल्ड मेश यूज किया जाता है. हमने सिंपली वो वेल्ड मेश और एक वायर मेश बिल्कुल पतला सा होता है और 8 mm का स्टील, उससे स्केल्टन बनाया. स्केल्टन में जस्ट प्रोप्स लगा के उसका स्लैब बनाना शुरू कर दिया. इसमें सीमेंट मोटर जो प्लास्टर के लिए यूज करते हैं, 1 भाग सीमेंट 3 भाग रेती, और पूरे गांव की महिलाओं ने एक साथ इसमें लेयरिंग करना शुरू कर दिया. तो डू द प्लास्टर. तो इसका थिकनेस 2 इंच से 4 इंच के बीच में होता है. नॉर्मल कंस्ट्रक्शन प्रैक्टिस में वाटर स्टोरेज टैंक का थिकनेस 6 to 8 इंच होता है, लेकिन इसमें 2 इंच से 4 इंच के बीच में बन जाता है. हम समझ सकते हैं कि इसका कॉस्ट नॉर्मल कंस्ट्रक्शन प्रैक्टिस से 50% से भी कम होता है. ये 50,000 लीटर का वाटर स्टोरेज टैंक है और उत्तराखंड के एरिया में हमने जब बनाया तो लोग खुश हुए कि वहाँ पर ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का बहुत ज़्यादा ड्रेजरी होता है, उनको मटेरियल ट्रांसफर करने में तकलीफ होती है. जो स्प्रिंग वाटर है वो लोग स्टोर करते हैं और उससे वो लोग वेजिटेबल्स कल्टीवेशन कर रहे हैं. उनके फूड प्लेट में वेजिटेबल आ रहा है और फूड प्लेट के साथ जो सरप्लस है उसको वो लोग सेल भी कर रहे हैं. इसका कॉस्ट अगर देखेंगे तो नॉर्मली 2 रुपीज पर लीटर के करीब कॉस्ट रहता है, लेकिन अप टू 3 रुपीज भी जा सकता है एज पर सिचुएशन. हमने इस टेक्नोलॉजी को फिर यूज किया वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर, जिसको चेक डैम कहते हैं. नॉर्मली जब चेक डैम बनाए जाते हैं तो 4 to 5 फीट तो मिनिमम थिकनेस होना ही है. अगर बॉटम बिट देखेंगे तो बॉटम बिट जो भी चेक डैम का होगा 8 to 10 फीट होता है फॉर द 6 फीट हाइट ऑफ चेक डैम. और अगर एक हार्ड स्टेटा हुआ तो हार्ड स्टेटा में चेक डैम बनाना बहुत मुश्किल है. वहाँ ब्लास्टिंग होगा, ब्लास्टिंग के लिए परमिशन लेना होगा, परमिशन मिलेगा या नहीं मिलेगा, ब्लास्टिंग कर पाएंगे नहीं कर पाएंगे, कॉस्ट भी उसमें कई गुना बढ़ जाती है. हमने ब्लास्टिंग को अवॉइड किया, जस्ट लेआउट किया, लेआउट करके ड्रिल किया. ड्रिल में 8 mm का जो स्केल्टन स्टील था उसको हमने फिक्स किया और आप ये देख सकते हैं स्केल्टन स्टील से ये स्केल्टन बन चुका है. और इस स्केल्टन पे वही 1 भाग सीमेंट 3 भाग रेती का मिश्रण लोगों ने इसमें लगाया. सभी गांव की महिलाएं इकट्ठी हुई और ये 10 फीट ऊंचा 100 फीट लंबा चेक डैम 1 सप्ताह के अंदर बनके तैयार हो गया.
2 minutes kindly wrap up.
यस. ये 10 फीट ऊंचा 100 फीट लंबा चेक डैम 1 सप्ताह के अंदर बनके तैयार हो गया. इस टेक्नोलॉजी को गुजरात में फार्मर्स अपने ओन फंड से भी लेके जा रहे हैं. गुजरात में एक स्कीम है आई खेडूत पोर्टल पे अगर फार्मर्स अप्लाई करते हैं तो उनको एक वाटर स्टोरेज टैंक 50,000 लीटर के लिए 50,000 का सब्सिडी मिलता है. SC ST को 75,000 का सब्सिडी मिलता है फॉर द ड्रिप इरिगेशन. जब फेरो सीमेंट टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज किया लोगों ने अपने से तो नॉर्मली 80 to 90,000 रुपीज में वो एक वाटर स्टोरेज टैंक बना लेते हैं. उसके बाद सब्सिडी के लिए अप्लाई करते हैं, उनको सब्सिडी मिल जाती है. रूरल एरियाज में सरपंचेस फंड क्रंच के लिए परेशान होते थे, उन्होंने फेरो सीमेंट टेक्नोलॉजी अपनाया. तो जो भी फंड्स उनके पास होते हैं वो फेरो सीमेंट टेक्नोलॉजी से वाटर स्टोरेज टैंक्स बना रहे हैं और उसको बहुत अच्छे से गांव के लिए डेवलपमेंट का काम कर रहे हैं. इस तरीके से इसमें जब देखा जाए कि फेरो सीमेंट टेक्नोलॉजी ने एक तो रॉ मटेरियल का सेविंग किया, टाइम का सेविंग किया, ड्रेजरी का सेविंग किया और ओवरऑल फार्मर्स इसको अपने फंड्स के भी लेके जा सकते हैं. तो जो इशू था लोगों को मालूम नहीं है कि कितने रुपए में बनता है और कैसे बनेगा. हमने इसके लिए इसमें YouTube में फिल्म को अपलोड किया हुआ है, कोई भी YouTube फिल्म से इसको देख सकते हैं. फेरो सीमेंट टेक्नोलॉजी फॉर द वाटर स्टोरेज टैंक एंड फेरो सीमेंट टेक्नोलॉजी फॉर चेक डैम आल्सो. थैंक यू.
Okay, thank you, Singh. Because any intervention for water saving is a great intervention because of the climate change, and as per the Ministry of Jal Shakti report, it says that about 1,071 mandal or block were categorized under overexploited blocks. So we have only 7,000 blocks, so out of which already 1,000 is already overexploited. So any intervention for water saving is a good intervention. So, and we are moving towards the water scarce country. So hence making water secure village is absolutely necessary. and adoption of such model, especially your polio intervention by the MGNREGS is a good initiative for scaling up. Thank you very much for your nice presentation. Thank you. Thank you. Please close your presentation.
Yes.
So now we have another expert, Miss Nan. She is in senior management position and working as finance lead with Proximity Design, Myanmar. And Proximity Design is a successful social enterprise working with small farmers in Myanmar. It has popularized use of technology in improving income of vast segment of farmers. Ms. Nan leads and works with the team for designing an affordable and income boosting products and services to farmers. The team has created Myanmar's largest agriculture platform for farm technology, advisory and finance to low income farmers. With this, I extend a warm welcome to Ms. Nan. Over to Nan.
Okay, thank you and good afternoon, everyone. And I would like to say thank you for inviting me here in this program. And I would like to share about my Proximity Design, my operations, how we successful throughout of our journey. Okay, we are the social business based in Myanmar, and then we work together with the farmers, our customers, and then we help them to improve their incomes and then their productivities. So I go through the landscape of Myanmar. In Myanmar, we have like more than 55 million population, and there are 5 million small families. They are the critical for the security of the food for the whole population there. And then the farms income for Myanmar farmers, small farmers, they are very low, like less than $3, when it's the lowest among the Southeast Asia countries. And then the productivity is low because the farmers couldn't access the advanced technology for the farming, and then the technology, modern technology prices. So the paddy generation is 23 kilograms. It is 10 times less than when we compare to our neighboring country, Thailand. So how we start? In 2004, our founders Jim and Debbie, and then they found that the farmers are neglected and have limited access to the critical fund services. So they have the experience in their earlier career, and then they came with the ideas of like deep knowledge and understanding came from living among those you aim to serve to your customers, and then their problems became yours, right? So they started with very small teams, 30 members, and 2 types of trader camps, and then named this organization as the Proximity. So our mission, our singular mission, like for 16 years now, is help low-income vulnerable families in your area, Myanmar, increase their incomes and improve their livelihood. So today, Proximity offers the Myanmar largest agriculture service platform, and then we have the 3 major segments: farm technologies, agronomy practice, and farm finance. And then we have 5 core products and service lines. I will show because of the time constraint, I will show the products and services, and then I will go for the channel, how we deliver these things to our customers. So in the irrigation products, we're giving the drip, sprinklers, and misters, and the farmers can choose the options best fits for their crops. Yeah, in the agronomy practice, we give the practice techniques and on-call soil test help and trichoderma for the black stem disease in sesame. So for the farm finance, we are giving the crop loan, livestock loan, and enterprise loan. And I want to highlight more on how we deliver these products and service to our customer in the whole country, in the whole rural area of the Myanmar. So we have the different channels like direct, dealers, and digital channel. And then the right channel, we have like 700 plus P staff, and then they are closely work together with the farmers and then the customers. And another, like we have the independent agents 400. They also helping in the installation of products, and then the after-sales service for our customers. And after that, we have the dealer shops, and then agro dealer shops. There are 270 plus, but it's spreading in around across in your area of Myanmar. Like in few years, our farmers, our small farmers and customers, they are like digitally weak. Right? But now in last 2 years, and then they now they're using the smartphone, and then now they are familiar with the social medias and everything. So since then, for 2 years, we've been developing our digital marketing also, and our sales and delivery channel. We've been developing it. But now, because of the COVID-19, this shift is accelerating now. This shifting is very accelerated because of the COVID-19. So I want to, in this delivery channel, I want to precise more on the digital channel. Because our farmers already familiar with the Facebook's Vibers, so we adapt this their behavior. They already have their behavior and their habits. We give them the trainings and advice online through the Facebook chatbots and tutorial videos and Viber groups. Now our chatbots has the 900,000 subscribers now. And another one is the daily agronomy approach. Before we giving them on-call service. Before I show you the on-call service, giving the response to their pest and disease control questions and response. We giving in person. But now we are giving through the phone call and messengers. We're using the daily agronomy approach. And then the digital seed, we're selling them in the swine tax and biopesticide using the online sale and then digital sales. And in later of this year, we are moving all our products like irrigation products to this platform, digital savings. Okay, this is an example of chat box. You can see in the slide. Okay, like I told that we have 4 approaches like this, and then we also doing the micro-level economic research and policy, and to work with the government, hand-on-hand working with the local government, the regional and the national level government to advocate and then to address and then to collaborate for the issues of the small farmers and rural economy. And we have our in-house design team, and then this is the world-class teams, and these teams also co-work and co-design with the products and services with the farmers, with our customers, so we can know what's their challenge and what's their problems they're facing in their farm. So then we can provide them the products, the best fit products to them. And then as a market makers, before when proximity design started, we started selling our products and services. There are no more, no organizations or no business coming in this market yet. We are starting this and we are starting provide the service and products to the small farm customers, small farms farmers first. And now the customer, other organization and business are coming in this agriculture field, and the farmers also now has more option to get more options, the products and services to best fit their farms requirements. Yeah. And another one is like we realize that we only cannot fit and they cannot fulfill all the needs of our small farmers' needs. So in the future, we are going to collaborate with the mission aligned organization who can give the complementary products and services, and then so that our customers can access those products and services through our platform. And so by creating this platform, we outlook that approximately design revolutionize Myanmar small farms ecosystem into the foundation of thriving rural economy and food systems. So because of those achievements, like 16 years, now our impact this year, we are...
Nan, can you please wind up, please? Within 1 minute.
Sorry?
Within 1 minute, please, can you please wind up? Okay, wrap up your presentation, please.
Okay.
Now you can take another 1 or 2 minutes and wind up.
Okay, okay. Okay, now we are serving like more than 900 households, and then our impact across our service and product is like increase $200 to $350 per year. And our team members, before we started with a small team, the team members. Now we are like 900 and plus team members, and among them like 43% are the females. And then 60% of the senior manager and managers are females. And then we, in the industry, we are the highest female employees in Myanmar, organization in Myanmar. So thank you so much, and that's all. And thank you so much for attending this and participate in this program. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Nan. This is a really wonderful social enterprise model, and you're serving the large number of farmers through various multi-channel delivery system, through product and services are delivered through large network of field stop, village level entrepreneurs and dealers, digital platform. Really great work to reach a large number of farmers. And also your upscaling strategies like government policies. Really, it is essential for upscaling in a larger area. And your principle of market-driven and empathy-driven is also most important while upscaling the program. Thank you very much. Yeah. Now I invite Shri Yan Ravishankar to share his experiences on solar-based solution for villages. Shri Roy is a consultant at the International Water Management Institute and was involved in designing and implementing solar-based solution in a village which has high potential of replication and upscaling. Over to Mr. Roy.
Hello?
Yeah, audible.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Yan Ravishankar. I work as a consultant in UMI Tata Water Policy Program. So last 2 decades, ITP has been working on energy water nexus across India. I mean, to understand it, and whatever groundwater is pumped is mainly through the some kind of energy source, whether it is electricity or diesel or some other energy source. So in 2012 onward, there is huge revolution in solar technology. It got cheaper, and there is massive installation of solar system across the country. So there are a lot of solar irrigation pumps promoted across the country. So we initially wanted to understand how these are performing in terms of using groundwater, and whether it is an opportunity or a threat for groundwater, because there is no marginal cost of pumping in solar pumps. So before I start my presentation on our experiment with solar irrigation pumps, there are some backgrounds which suggest that in past few decades there is huge increase in deep tubes. And within 5 years, from fifth minor irrigation census to fourth minor irrigation census to fifth minor irrigation census, the deep tubewell has increased by 82%. And in western part of India, which is where rainfall is low and there are other issues related to groundwater, their deep tubewell has increased almost by 100%. So what we see here that in western part of India, almost 80 to 80%, more than 80% pumps are electric pumps, and electricity supplied to these pumps are almost free, and which reflect in the groundwater depletion condition in western part of India. So if you see that the red part in second map, it shows that this is the groundwater stress block. It is overexploited blocks in western part of India, which is a kind of very strongly linked with the free pump out supply in these states. So what we also see as a paradox that eastern part of India, which has a good rainfall as well as good groundwater availability, there almost most of the farmers are using diesel pumps to irrigate their land. So in this circumstances, what we see is that solar irrigation, solar pumps provide a lot of opportunity to get away with energy scarcity on the other hand, but it can also create a lot of challenges related to groundwater depletion. So what we envisage that around 2,200 to 2,500 hours of daytime power will be available from these solar pumps, and that all will be used for pumping groundwater if they require. Since there is no cost of pumping, so farmer will not be very careful for using the energy for pumping groundwater. Having this context in mind, ITP designed two smart solar irrigation based field pilot, one in western part of India, which we called solar power as a remunerative crop, and the other pilot which was designed for eastern part of India, which we called solar irrigation service providers. So the concept are very simple that in western part of India, if we start buying electricity, surplus electricity from the farmers on a very remunerative price, there is a possibility that farmer will be more attracted towards saving electricity as well as groundwater, and will sell electricity to get some income out of that. And in second model, where we see that the almost 80 to 90% pumps in eastern part of India are diesel pumps. So once we start promoting solar irrigation service provider, there is a possibility that it could provide a very cost-effective irrigation to other farmers. So we'll come to our first experiment, which we did in Gujarat. So in this model, what we did that we identified 9 farmers in Dhundi village, which is in Kheda district, and we provided a solar irrigation system, and we also connect them through a microgrid and to connect it to the general grid, so that they can sell it back to the grid and earn some income. So these farmers formed their cooperative, and this cooperative did a power purchase agreement with the Gujarat government. And what they found that initially the rate was offered to them was 4.63 rupees for each unit of electricity cell. And what we found that over the years, only 30 to 35% energy was consumed in irrigation, and rest 65% was sold back to the grid. And the similar kind of information or data, MNRE has shown us that almost 50% energy is remain unused in solar irrigation pumps. So this is also an opportunity for DISCOMs to create decentralized energy generation system and consumers become prosumers. They produce, they use, and they sell back to the grid, so that that decentralized energy can be supplied to the to other consumer, and that could solve a lot of issues for discounts also. So what we found that farmers in last 4 years have earned more than 16 lakh rupees from selling electricity. And what we have also found that because of this incentive, farmers have become much more energy efficient. If you see the chart, and the blue part of this chart showcase that farmers over the years has reduced their energy consumption for the pumping. And what we also found that offers a climate proof income for the farmers. What it means that when there is drought, there is a possibility that farmers will be selling more electricity to the grid. And if there is more rainfall, that farmers will be not pumping groundwater for irrigation, then also they will be selling more electricity to the grid, and that could provide a good, a cushion for a sustainable income for the farmers. It also reduces the subsidy burden from the utilities, the distribution companies. If you see the data of electricity companies, you'll find that around 90,000 crore rupees of agriculture subsidy is distributed every year. So what does it mean? It means that around 40 to 50,000 rupees of energy subsidy is transferred to each farmer in this country. So because of that, other consumer who are domestic users or the industrial consumer have to pay a higher tariff for their electricity use. That restricts a lot of industrial activities, and that becomes a very big cost for them. So because of this trap, governments are looking some alternative model. Solar is definitely providing that. And then carbon footprint will reduce because of this kind of initiative. And it also contributes to India's ambitious RE target, which is now 450 gigawatt. So what we see that in terms of scaling, so in 2015, we started with 1 farmers, and then Dhundi Solar Cooperative with 9 farmers. Now Gujarat government has scaled it at Gujarat level, and around 3,500 farmers are selling electricity to the government as if now. And in that data, it is also reflected that around 60% electricity are sold back to the grid, and especially farmers from Saurashtra and northern Gujarat, they are gaining a lot of income from energy sale. And then government announced Kusum scheme to promote grid connected solar pumps in western part of India, and off-grid pump in eastern part of India. So the second pilot, which we call...
Can you please take another 2 minutes and wind up?
Okay. So this experiment was done in Samastipur district of Bihar, where the context of North Bihar is very different. That land is quite fragmented, and water market plays a central role in Ganga Basin. But because of high diesel cost, this is monopolistic and result in transfer of wealth from buyers to sellers. So what this is a reflection of how land is distributed and fragmented in this Chakhaji village of Samastipur district. So the model is to provide bigger pumps to these farmers and asks them to invest in this system, and then over the years they will be paying back their initial capital investment, and they will be earning income from selling the electricity. What we found over the years that cost of irrigation has reduced from 1,500, 1,800 per hectare to around 600 to 700. each ISPs is selling water to around 80 to 100 buyers. And if you see that that created a room for summer crop also. So what we found as a result over the years that around 48% rise in the gross value of output of buyers. So these are water buyers, and the summer cropping has doubled, and the required quality of irrigation they are providing to water buyers is very different from what they used to get from diesel water suppliers. So there is payment flexibility. The water buyers' presence is not required. If they are not there, then they will provide irrigation by themselves, but they will charge 10 rupees more. And water output is quite good because of underground pipelines. But there are some challenges that operation and maintenance services are very poor. And since these pumps are provided for like 5 years or 10 years, 5 years warranty, then farmers cannot touch them, because once they touch them and then they realize that some damage has happened because of farmers' intervention or because of Farmers Act, then they will abandon the warranty. And the generation efficiency is big concern in western part of India. If generation is not adequate, then the farmers' income will be affected by that. There is very few insurance products available in the market, and there is no financial credit availability for the solar irrigation pumps. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gyan, for it is very interesting to know that even farmers collectives were promoted for unique and innovative areas of even solar pump irrigation cooperative collectives. So learnings from your discussion is, so whenever there is a cost of technology or innovation is high and benefit is intangible, even support for capital investment and financial investment is required, because otherwise farmers may not be adopted. And once the people are convinced about the success and benefit of the innovation, definitely they will come forward to participate. So extension and advisory services should be part of development, and even long-term market tie-up and assurance of buyback is essential for success of a project, such type of project, and it should ensure additional income by integrating with other income generative activities. Thank you very much for nice presentation and innovative activity. Thank you. And now, can you please close down your presentation? Mr. Rai, can you please close down your presentation? So now I request Mr. Avinash Upadhyay to share his experience on digital green on online platform. Mr. Avinash is the director program with Digital Green, which is playing a pioneering and innovative role in the area of agricultural extension and working with various states and government in India and also in abroad. Mr. Avinash has been experimenting with the use of technology in promoting nutrition and agriculture programs. In over 20 years of work experience, he managed programs in sustainable rural livelihood, extension education, maternal, infant and young child nutrition, nutrition-sensitive agriculture and market linkages of rural producers across 10 countries in South and Southeast Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. So over to Avinash ji.
Thank you, Dr. Bala. Thank you so much for the generous introduction. Let me just do my screen share. Okay. I will, in my talk, I will introduce you to Digital Green, share our model, our achievements, as well as thoughts behind our scale-up approach. We began as a Microsoft research project in the year 2006 in India. The whole idea behind our beginning started with a Government of India National Sample Survey across the country, whose results showed that most of the farmers learn from other farmers through their informal social networks and word of mouth within their own communities. And that's how we started experimenting ways of using this idea and create an extension model. So following this, we did 3 years of controlled evaluations to find the efficacy of the digital green community extension model, and found that it feeds 7 times more efficient, or you can say more adoptions, and 10 times cost effective per dollar spent than other classical forms of extension. After 3 years of controlled evaluation, finally in the year 2009, we spin off as an independent organization working in several countries across Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. As part of our work, we partner with existing public extension systems, primarily different government programs that are already working with farmers and training them on ways to increase their productivity with better inputs and agronomic practices. We have also expanded our work to health and nutrition. Let me start talking a little bit about model, Digital Green's community video model. At least I will cover a few important components. So the first component that we use is the video production component. What we do, in every community, we train 3 to 4 farmers as video producers who make local language videos, which are 8 to 12 minutes long, involving local actors, which are basically these videos are by farmer, of farmer, and for farmers. Local community members are the actors in the videos, and they were shown as role models, discussing what they have done and what are the key messages that they wanted to share. As of now, we have produced more than 6,000 videos across different partnerships in more than 50 languages. So one of the things that we ensure, wherever we work, whoever the community, we try to have the local language videos. And these video producers from the community go on a 5-day participatory training module. We use very simple consumer-grade cameras and free editing softwares, which are simple to learn. Once these videos are produced, these are shared across communities, as well as for institutional sharing, we use YouTube platform. Now, the next is, once these videos are produced, we do the disseminations. So what we do, another set of farmers, we call them mediators, in every village or group of villages, get trained on video dissemination. And they go through a 2-day training based on adult learning principles. In the training, they learn group facilitation techniques and using a Pico projector, which is a pocket-size battery-operated projector. You can see in the picture. During the training, they learn how to disseminate a video to a group of 20 to 25 members on an average, sitting together, and ensure a 2-way communication or discussion. It's a pause and play system, and the members are from the self-help groups or similar institutions on the ground at the village level. We run the production and dissemination in a hub and spoke model. Feedback loop is integrated, which informs video content. Now, the third important component is the data management component, because we gather a lot of data because we work with a lot of farmers. So we have designed something, a data management platform known as COCO, short for Connect Online, Connect Offline, which is a standalone application which you can run in your browser. COCO and the analytics dashboard, the front end, available in the Digital Green website, together allow users to collect and visualize crucial insights on various indicators of the program, anytime, anywhere, any device, regardless of network connectivity. So the data analyzed on a real-time basis to see how the practices that each individual farmer takes up affect their productivities and income. What are the corrective measures needs to be taken to streamline the interventions or course corrections. In terms of scale up, so after the model, I just wanted to give you a glimpse of like what Digital Green has done in these 10 years. In 2009, we started working with some of the large and well-respected NGOs in the country, having presence in multiple states and gathered more field experience and initial evidence of large scale up. Then finally, in 2012, we were privileged to start working with National Rural Livelihoods Mission as a resource agency for digital extension services and roll out Digital Green model in almost 9 states. We are doing that still now. This was followed by a partnership with our various departments, Department of Agriculture. Also, we started working in Ethiopia with Department of Agriculture, where we have integrated DigiModel across the country. Though we started with agriculture, we expanded our work through health missions, nutrition missions in various states of the country, integrating RMNCH, family planning, social behavior change communication messages. In 10 years of existence, we have reached almost 1.8 million farmers. We are working in India across more than 15,000 villages. Regularly, we train frontline workers of departments. We have trained more than 15,000 frontline workers. 90% of our farmers are women, because by philosophy, we work with women self-help groups. Interestingly, videos on the online platform like YouTube has hit more than 60 million viewers have seen those videos. We have received in this process, working with the government, almost 25 millions of investment in various government projects. So that's something we feel is like a pretty big achievement in terms of when you are scaling up, because many things that I am saying is related to the scale up possibility. Now, let me quickly talk about our scale-up mantra. The first being institutionalization, which is one of our strong areas of focus, which basically means that we wanted to ensure transfer of ownership and processes from Digital Green to partners so that they can continue after we transition out of the partnership. And to do that, first, we ensure that our program principles and institutionalization principles both are aligned, and we are ensuring three main indicators of institutionalization, which is capacity within the partner system, their buy-in, and their commitment. With this, we ensure a few other methods, but these three are main. And the second important factor for us, like while we scale up, is like creating enough master trainers within the system, concept seeding at all levels of the organization, and ensuring a coordination body both at the state level and at the district or block level, which can drive the efforts. Then going forward, though we started with the community video model, we started complementing our development approach through other digital solutions. Some of them are like introducing something called Loop, a market access model for small scale farmers to address beyond extension components of the value chain, because community video was only extension. So we thought only extension is not going to solve farmers' problem. We have to go beyond extension. So that's how we introduced other things. We have also introduced supplementary and complementary channels to community video, like interactive voice response. And currently we are also using WhatsApp with chatbots and few of our applications to other applications to supplement our messaging platform. We have introduced something which you can see on your screen, something called Kisan Diary. This is
can you please take 2 minutes more and wrap up?
Sure, sir. I just need like 2 minutes then. So Kisan Diary, which is an accounting ledger to help farmers in tracking their accounts and business. As part of our COVID-19 intervention, we have modified our contents, because earlier contents were like 10 minutes on an average to shorter ones, and made it suitable for all types of digital platforms so that different organizations across the country can use all these videos. We are more of focusing on a hybrid delivery model, because the initial evidence that we have shown promising results. We are also doing investment in something called FarmStack, or our digital platform prototype, through which we are integrating localized and relevant information from multiple sources of data, like weather, soil, farmer's profile, or any other such data point that's relevant for farmers, and then disseminate tailored and targeted messages to the farmers using all our digital channels like video, text, voice. This is something that we are doing as a next level of extension, where farmers will actually own the process. We have run multiple use cases on cashew nut in Andhra Pradesh, potato and brinjal in Bihar, and found pretty effective under the FarmStack prototypes that we started in India. Now we are working on the backend architecture at scale, which we are aiming to complete in a year's time. This one is, of course, an ambitious project. We are but we are making huge investments both in India and Ethiopia, and soon we will have very good results. I stop here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Avnashji, for presenting an excellent case of digital green, which is empowering the smallholder farmer through harnessing collective power of technology and grassroots level partnership. And actually, what I understood for success of your case is for upscaling. Farmers are center of innovation. You are making farmers a center of your innovation, and institutionalization and networking of partners. That is partnering with government, private, and various practitioners, and co-creation of digital solution, and delivering more localized, timely, and useful extension advisor services, which help to scale. And moreover, you are making capacity building at different levels and creating a strong coordination mechanism. That is also one of the important things for the success of scaling up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So now may I request Dr. M. Prabhakar. He is a principal investigator of one of the important, very famous project called National Innovation in Agriculture Research, National Innovation in Climate Resilient Agriculture. It is popularly called NICRA by the ICR Institute, CRIDA. He has put up more than 20 years of experience in research in the reputed institute. I request him to share his experience about the innovation and about the climate resilient agriculture model and replication of upscaling strategies. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Bala, for the kind introduction, and I'm glad to be part of this important workshop. As asked by the organizers, and I'll be glad to share our experiences of doing climate resilient agriculture in a project called NICRA, National Innovations in Climate Resilient Agriculture. It is a flagship project of ICR. And before going to the actual subject, I would just like to briefly tell about the climate change scenario, recent past 20 years. As from this graph, you can see from 2000 to 2018, the lower bars are the percent deviation from the normal rainfall. Almost every 2 to 3 years, we're experiencing deficit rainfall in the country as a whole. In the past 18 years, 7 or 8 years are deficit rainfall years. Number two, besides drought, we also experiencing the heat waves, particularly in the northwestern part of India, and also cold waves in many parts of the country, particularly central India. Surprisingly, we don't have this problem earlier, but now we are experiencing a cold wave in central India too. Is affecting the crops. And you are all aware of the flash floods, untimely rains, heavy excess rainfall, and the other recent happening is hailstorms. Hailstorm frequency is increasing year after year, and particularly the horticulture crops is being destroyed and damaged to the large extent. With this background, ICR has initiated a network project called NICRA in short. It is as I said, is a big project. Almost 41 ICR institutes, several agriculture universities, IITs, NGOs are involved in this project. And in this project, we address all the components of agriculture, not necessarily crop. We also address livestock, fishes, soil particularly, and also water. We have four major objectives rather. First one is research component, where we understand the impact of climate change on the different components, as I said earlier, and how to overcome those kind of negative effects in terms of technologies and development of cultivation practices. The second objective is demonstration. The already existing technologies, how best we can take it to the farmers and show it as a model villages in different parts of the country. And of course, capacity building for all the stakeholders, not only the farmers, researchers, even including sometimes the policymakers is also happening in this project. And ultimately, we drop some policy guidelines which could form for the governments to take decisions at their respective states. Research component, this is just one slide I am spending on this, what kind of research we are doing in this project. As you see in this slide, there are different structures wherein we pump the carbon dioxide and also increase the temperature at different levels and study the impacts. Not only crops, as I said, livestock, including soil, because soil organic carbon is the one which affects and long term the important mitigation strategies, how how it's going to be affected over the years. So these kind of facilities are established in 7 to 8 places in India. Lot many students, more than 800 students, MSc PhD students are working in this. 1,200 scientists are involved in this project. And we, as I said, we are working even pests and diseases, how the climate change is going to affect the pests and diseases in the years to come. With this research component, I would like to spend more time on this climate resilient agriculture part, particularly what we're doing with farmers. The first question arises, how vulnerable our country is to climate change, particularly agriculture sector. So we made a detailed analysis taking different data sets. As you know, risk is the vulnerability, exposure, and hazard. All these factors constitute risk, and there are several indicators for this vulnerability, exposure, and risk. More than 35 to 40 indicators we have taken, and then calculate the different vulnerability at district level for all the entire country, and then come out with the risk assessment, risk map. What you see in the right side, the India map, this is the risk map of different districts in the country. You can see the red color ones are going to be highly risk prone, and the green ones are highly advantageous. Not necessarily climate change is going to adversely affect all the parts of the country. Some districts are going to take advantage. That's we depicted in this. So this kind of a document now is just released 6 months back, and it is available on website. And this could be useful for prioritizing our resources at district level. So this is one important output from this project. And then we also have an online tool for planning, crop planning. For example, it's called contingency crop planning. What it exactly does is, for example, in a district, there is a drought, early drought. June, soon after sowing, there is after 15 days, there is a drought. In some other situation, there could be a drought, a mid-season drought, month of August, or it may be at the terminal drought. So what this tool does is, you can just select a state, a district, under the kind of contingency situation, early drought, mid-season drought, or excess rainfall. It will pop up to you the different kinds of technological options available in the district. So that without losing much time, the district administrators or the other practitioners, they can choose this tool and go for the contingency plan. So these plans are being revised once in every 3 years because of the technological upgradations, and this is available online in our CRIDA or NICRA website. And now coming to the climate resilient villages. So this is the uniqueness in this project, wherein we choose village as a unit, not individual farmers or individual themes like livestock, water, or soil. No? But in this project, it's a holistic approach, village as a unit. How did we select the village? In this graph, you can see the India map wherein I depicted different colors for different weather aberrations. The red one is the drought, the most prominent. 151 districts we have selected. Out of 151 districts, 73 are for drought. In some cases, the combinations of drought, heat wave, cold, frost, cyclones. So this, so that we wanted to test the technologies, how they are working in a village. So what we does is, in each of this village, we selected one village representing the entire district and tried to adopt all the available technologies end to end. So this project, as I said, started in 2011. Now it's almost 9 years going on, and we had some lessons, and I would like to share with you. The point is, we started with 151 villages, and now you can see it's reached to 446 villages. We have touched upon more than 203,000 hectares. More than 183,000 households are being benefited in this project. Now coming to the technologies. You see, as I said, it's a very comprehensive project. It touches the weather, particularly how weather forecasting and how weather is going to affect your crop, and then water issues. I don't want to read all those things. Groundwater, surface water, water saving technologies, and crops, because different locations require different crops and crop varieties. So all these villages, in consultation with the local agriculture universities and Krishi Vigyan Kendras, it is tailor made to the particular village in a district. And then fertilizers, as we all know, the excessive use of fertilizers is one of the major reasons for climate change that we are addressing through series of technologies which is already available. And again, our main aim is to build the soil organic carbon. There are a series of technologies. Maybe we have to find out which technology works for which area. So that is the essence of this project. And in this project, we try to establish certain village level institutions. We say it's village climate risk management committees for each village, wherein they manage several other institutions like customizing centers and also seed banks, water banks, and sometimes even nurseries for example, for paddy. All these things are done in a community basis. The point is all technologies are not replicated all the places. Whichever technology is suited for those area, those technologies were only chosen and tried to implement. So this is how the methodology what we followed in the villages, starting with selection of the district from the previous risk assessment map of what I showed. From there, narrow down to a village. Then we conduct baseline survey, identify the problems in consultation with the
kindly take another 2 minutes for
yes, sir. Then implementation plan, then convergence. Most important is convergence with ongoing programs, and then finally capacity building. All these things, and at the end of 6 or 7 years, we did impact assessment. So impact assessment, there are different ways and means. One is using satellite imagery. You can see the top one is 2011, and 2017 is the bottom one. And there are also other indicator approaches with different dimensions. It could be social capital or natural capital, financial capital. You can see different indicators for each capital. All these things were assessed before the project and after the project, and a score is given in the range of 0 to 100. So more the score, more the village is resilient. And then we had a lot of publications we brought out. It's available in our NICRA website. Those who are interested, you can have a glance at it. And this is our NICRA website. Besides what all I told and other things important related to agriculture and the climate change, they're all available. PDFs are available. Have a look at it. And then final slide is upscaling. So how this project helped the government of India or the country as a whole to upscale the climate resilient concept. I just quoted 4 examples. One is in Maharashtra. It's called a Pokhara project. It's a World Bank funded project. It's 5,000 villages. Started just 2 years back by grants of more than 4,500 crores. IFAD, it went to several SAARC countries, Nepal, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka. This CRV concept is trying to be replicated. And NABARD has come forward to drought-proof the watersheds, 200 watersheds in Karnataka with this kind of concept. To sum up, we have experience of establishing these climate resilient villages, and now we call it as clusters. And we have all India network with partnering with several agriculture universities, KVKs, and we can provide the kind of technical backstop which whoever want to implement SCR. And also capacity building is our goal, and we would like to be happy to provide this kind of component, and also impact analysis for any kind of project before and after. Unless you do this, you cannot satisfy the funding agency. So with this, I conclude my presentation. Thank you once again for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Dr. Prabhakar sir. Actually, it is a very big presentation. It is very difficult to concise within 10 minutes. Anyway, climate change is inevitable, and we are witnessing a huge economic and environmental loss due to frequent occurrence of climate-related extreme events. Anyway, NICRA is a model which one of the excellent model for adaptation, promoting adaptation and mitigation in the village level, and it is upscaling not only in India and also in various countries. So many organizations, corporates, if they are willing, you can associate with the CRIDA and Dr. Prabhakar. Thank you, Dr. Sir. And now last panelist, Dr. Yan Ravishankar, is working as principal scientist at ICR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research, Indian Institute of Farming System Research, Modipuram. He is having more than 20 years of research experience and developed successful integrated farming system model and also organic farming system model and its implication for doubling farmers' income through National Research Scheme of All India Coordinator Research Project on Integrated Farming System and All India Network Project on Organic Farming. So over to Dr. Ravishankar.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, it's audible.
Yeah, whether my slides are visible?
Yeah, visible.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Very good evening to all my panelists and also all the participants. In fact, we are very much thankful to the manage as well as the BIMTech for providing this platform to share some of our models, and it is also a learning experience for us also from some of the presentations which have been made by some of the panelists. So just to say about our institute, it is located at Modipuram, it is in Uttar Pradesh, and we are dealing with the three major areas which are directly related to the livelihood of the farmers. One is the cropping systems research, designing of the alternate efficient cropping systems. Then the second is the integrated farming systems, designing of a scientifically science-oriented integrated farming system. And third important one is the growing area, we can call it as that is organic farming. And the export of the organic products or the demand for the organic products is also increasing. So all these three areas are covered by our institute called the Indian Institute of Farming System Research. When you just have an integrated farming system, look, if you just see our forefathers, they have practiced the integrated farming system, having the crop, livestock, and all other activities which are related to the farming. But over the time, due to the reduction in labor or many other factors, policies, there was monocropping area increased, and there was a reduction in the number of enterprises practiced by the farmers. But then now again, in the entire globe, we are talking about the sustainable development goals. There are 17 sustainable development goals, which mainly thrives on the maintaining the sustainability, achieving the sustainable development instead of just a development. So this integrated farming system approach, science-driven integrated farming system approach, ensures the sustainable development. And also it provides, it can provide a sustainable livelihood because it contributes for enhancement in income, reduction in expenditure, increase in employment, and reduction in risk. So all the four aspects of sustainable livelihood is covered through the integrated farming systems. Again, the Lakpati model, which was presented by one of the panelists and also the other panelists, all these things can be integrated into these systems to give a productive assets to the farmers. So we started our systematic research on integrated farming systems through our All India Coordinated Research Project on integrated farming system in 26 states. And we have developed, so far we have developed a 60 IFS models, which also includes the 7 integrated organic farming system models, wherein the inputs are produced within the model itself. So these models are mainly used for the research, education, extension, and also the business model to attract the youth. Basically, our science-driven IFS model comprises of 6 major components which are listed here. And these type of prototype models establishment, it requires an initial investment of 2.2 to 4.6 lakhs. So what I say, and these models have the potential to provide, increase the income of the farmers by 3 to 5 times, like Lakpati models. And it also provides the sustainable income and round the year income, which is very important because getting a income of, otherwise farmers used to get only the income during a particular time of period. Even the companies which are promoting the certain kind of the models are also based on the single or monocropped approach, then they used to get only the income at the time of only. But in this case, we have designed all our models so that the farmer gets round the year income. Then so far we have developed the 60 IFS models for suitable for the 26 states, and these models can be used by the companies to train the farmers, to train the rural youths, because these are all the one-stop solution where the rural youth, farmers, or the women self-help groups, anybody, whoever is doing, so they can get it trained on all the aspects of the farming, which includes the croppings, horticulture, processing, value addition, so on, so on. So this can be a one-stop solution. These models are established at the respective states, agriculture universities, and also the ICR institutes. So when you just look at our figures, which we have recorded over the years, almost last 6 to 7 years data, which says that we have categorized the states into 4 regions. In case of northern region, we have this 183 rupees per day income as reported by this one. Doubling of farmers income committee. These models provides the income up to 654 rupees per day. That is almost 3.6 times improvement, and different states data is reflected here. Similarly, the eastern region, eastern states are having the most potential for increasing the income because the income is already low there. So here from the current income of 112 per day to it can be raised to 550 rupees by appropriately upscaling these models with the involvement of the farmers, agencies, extension agencies, and other concerned people. So these IFS models not only enhance the income, it also provides a lot of complementary benefits, other complementary benefits to the farmers, consumers, as well as the businessman. Like for farmers, it provides the increase in income. It also saves the nutrients, the market inputs like fertilizers purchase, it gets reduced due to the recycling approach. And also the cropping intensity gets increased. Even in waterlogged areas, the cropping intensity can be enhanced to 300%. And the renewable share of energy is focused on this integrated farming system models. The water is efficiently utilized due to the recycling. And nowadays the reverse migration is the major issue, but it creates additional employment for the rural youths within the villages, and it can create about 950 man days from a 1 hectare area because of the integration of science-based integration of allied activities. And it is highly sustainable. We have measured it reaches up to even 0.9 these IFS models because due to the integration of various components. And it is also climate resilient. In some of the models, we integrated agroforestry, orchard component. So many components are integrated, which offsets the emission from the livestock component. So that again, the carbon emission negative aspect of the integrated farming system gives opportunity to enhance the more economic activities can be integrated, means included in the farming systems practiced by the farmers. Then all the 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, once you upscale these models, all the 17 SDGs can be addressed, like life on land, life below the water. It covers the zero hunger. Almost all the 13 SDGs are addressed directly. And if these models are implemented at the landscape level, then 4 SDGs can be addressed. The remaining 4 SDGs can also be addressed. We have come out with bankable projects. Wherein,
Can you please take another 2 minutes to...
only 2 minutes I will take. So these CSR funds can be leveraged with the farmers, small and marginal farmers, because in the bank, as per the banking financing option, only 80% of the capital amount the farmer will get as a loan. So the CSR funds can be leveraged here to support small and marginal farmers, those who do not have the seed money. So these can be supported with the 20% of the money to establish the models. So based on our experience, we also work with the farmers villages in 32 districts currently, and based on our experience, we have designed 6 modules with 4 interventions. These modules are of low cost in nature. It is around the cost of interventions comes around ₹12,000 for the recurring cost per year, as well as the non-recurring, it is additionally 20,000 to 30,000 rupees. So within 40,000 rupees, these interventions can be made in the villages. And our study also, we go for a withdrawal or exit strategy. Means how we are doing it is that first year we go for benchmarking, second year, third year we support with, fourth year we support with the interventions, and fifth year we do not do anything. We simply observe what he is doing, farmer is doing, what are all the things he is discontinuing. So we document it, and finally the farming systems are recommended. We are also working with almost 5,000 farmers across the different states. So the another opportunity for the business is that the aggregation and value addition, because in a monocropped areas or the single crop based, you will have a single commodity. Here, due to the availability of multiple commodities, you can go for a small scale aggregation and value addition, and wherein the CSR funds can be leveraged for the mobilization of the rural youth on the basis of like Uber model, wherein they connect the customer as well as the service provider. So likewise here also farmers and consumers can be connected. And if big companies like Reliance or any other companies, if they join for this integrated farming systems, whatever the commodities which they need to keep in the stores, they can be produced in that particular cluster. The optimum cluster size also we have worked out for the different states, and then startup funding can also be thought through this one. And for establishing a prototype IFS models in each of the block, at least 4 lakhs per block in one model. If through CSR fund we are able to establish one prototype model in each of the block, that will be highly helpful for the small and marginal farmers. It will be act as a training center, all those things. So similarly, the clusters, village clusters can also be created with a 2.87 crores per cluster, with a 5 contiguous gram panchayat consisting of 2,500 marginal small farm households, which is sufficient to produce a sufficient marketable surplus for aggregation, small scale grading, and also the processing at the local level. So with this I conclude my talk with this one. The science driven integrated farming system is essential not only to the enhance the income of the farmers, but also achieve the sustainable development goals, which is being which is being discussed widely nowadays. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ravishankar ji, for your wonderful presentation and for developing a 60 prototype IFS model. Actually, it is interesting to know that this model helps to minimize risk, better resource utilization, and realize highest farm level profit, even to the extent up to 3 to 5 lakhs, 5 times, and even round the year income, in addition to the other complementary benefits. So it is good to have such type of integrated. Now every year monocropping is getting increasing. So now any corporates or NGOs or public sector, if they wanted to involve, they can associate with your organization. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So now before going for question and answer, I am happy to know that Mr. Ravinderjit Singh is a program head, the rural transformation of Reliance Foundation, is also taken some time and attending this program. As Reliance Foundation is implementing large number of CSR funded projects in various states, I request him to share his observation, not exceeding more than 5 minutes. Mr. Ravinderjit Singh.
Dr. Bala, he was having a meeting, so okay. He has left.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
He informed that he is having another scheduled meeting.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So he has left.
So shall we go for question and answer session? I think. Siraj Hussain sir has left, sir. Other panelists are there, it seems.
Siraj Hussain Sahab has also indicated that he will be staying for 1 hour. So after 1 hour, he has left.
So others, so there are few questions, and we cannot take all the questions, but our team has put into categorized into some areas. Now, first question, I think Ravindra sir is there. Ravindra Pastor sir. Sir is there. Ravindra Pastor sir. Sir, you have one question, whether technology and protocols developed by a particular company are freely available for other companies to adopt.
So there are three types of software now available in the market. So first is developed by Government of India, particularly Ministry of Agriculture and Commerce Department, and their different organizations have developed different kind of software, and it includes some government taking undertaking, just like IFCO, CRIBCO, and other organizations. They have also developed various kind of platform. It is TV based, it is mobile based, it is internet based, farm management, information, weather, pricing, input, advisory, all sort of things they have developed right now. So those platform and software are freely available for anybody, whether it is a startup, any NGO, organization, private or government, or any individual farmer can use those. Second type of software are some services are paid services and some services are freely available. So there are weather services, there are imagery services, and there are market intelligence services, kind of things are available. And third kind of technology and platform developed by private companies, startup, and multinational companies. Those are mainly available for their members. So if you want to use those platforms, you have to become member. And there are also different kind of technology, drone, imagery, sensor-based technology, precision agriculture, nude seed, fertilizer or pesticide management kind of services are available. And some startups have doing this e-commerce business. So both the end, they are supplying input as well as they procuring from the farmers. So they are also using various kind of platform, particularly based on mobile, because now farmers are primarily using mobile device. They don't have laptop or desktop or tablet. So most of the services now moving to the mobile. And since 3G and upward connectivity is available, so it is easier for any organization. I think those want to use this kind of technology, which is suited for their project, they can use that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Next question is for Mr. Arish Singh. Sir, you are available, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Can you suggest a mechanism for sharing information about best practices and high impact project?
That's a very important question. As you can see, so much has been done. But let me confine it to the fact that who needs to know what. See, there is a lot of sharing of information amongst the experts, but it doesn't percolate down really to farmers, etc. I think it is very important to tackle that part of the whole ecosystem. And that is where the mini MBA kind of program, etc., that we talked about that we did with manage is very important. So I'll say if we need to prioritize how farmers get it, rather than just sharing between experts. So and there are a lot of good examples, but the best is that really one has to inspire the youth to come forward, develop new kinds of job roles, expertise, and really get them to lead. I think I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now, one question is for Mr. Ganesh Neelam. What is the exit strategy for the Lakpati Kisan model to continue the existing benefit for long period and its sustainability?
So basically, the program design, as I was sharing, builds around the community and its institution. So the women-led institution. So right from the beginning, we have ensured that we empower them, we build the capacities, and also ensure that they start engaging with all the important stakeholders, be it government, private players, or other related entities. That's why we are now very confident that these institutions can run the program on their own with those required engagements within the ecosystem. So our role was to facilitate. Now they are empowered to a level wherein they can start engaging with all these players in the ecosystem and continue the journey. So that's how we are visualizing the overall. I would not say exit. It is a slow process which the community will start leading and taking action on it.
Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you. One question for Sunil Srivastav. What are the challenges faced by your organization while ensuring the water security?
The challenges are common to the Reliance Foundation or any development agencies, like the reluctance of farmers to adapt the change. So we started with the farmers who can adapt the change and the cropping pattern and system processes. Regarding water to construct the structures, everywhere where is a good land and good water, there is an encroachment issue. And due to the encroachment of the benefits of some sort of farmers, there is a challenge to construct the water harvesting structures because we have created big earthen dams up to 5 lakh cubic meter water holding capacity. So there was the challenge, and challenge was also with the vendor side. The JCB machine owner, tractor owner, they form cartel for the higher rates because they want to higher rates because this is Reliance. We can fetch money whatever we can take, but we think the rate should be the normal as per the prevalent rates in the area, so the people can be benefited with the competitive rates after the project is over. So, but these challenges were the common, and these challenges were sought out by the active participation of community, and community was on the forefront, and they decided where encroachment should be left out, what is the benefits of water harvesting structure, and what village can transform with this sort of like that. Thanks.
Thank you, Sunilji. Thank you very much for your information. And there is another question for Ms. Nan. What are the critical factors for success of proximity design as per your experience?
Okay, regarding with this question, I think I mentioned some in my presentation also, and more precise, and then to be short, like I would like to say like our values, like to be living in our to get the deep knowledge from what our people need, and by living with them, right, among them, and then we really understand what the customer needs, what our small farmers needs, and then our employees, they also from those areas. So they live in among them, and we always tune in what is happening in the field. And then we always carefully tracking the impact of our products and services and the impact on our farmers. So another one is we are being able to adapt when there needs to change. And, yeah. So these are the critical values of us to get the successful projects. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now there is a question for Gyan Prakash Rai. Whether farmers are getting the benefit of carbon credit in addition to the feed-in tariffs?
No. So in power purchase agreement with the MGVCL, DISCOM, it is clearly written that carbon credit will belong to distribution company. But ideally it should belong to the farmers. But in this case, since government is thinking that they are purchasing electricity at this scale and this small scale, so they should have the carbon credit. But on other side, in India, carbon credit is not very enforceable as of now. So even if a state not achieving their RPOs, renewable purchase obligations, so central government doesn't put any pressure on them to achieve that level of renewable purchase obligations. But as per the contract, it is with the DISCOM, not with the farmers.
Thank you. And Mr. Avnish is having one question. What are the problem of upscaling a project in social sector?
Thank you so much, sir. This is one of the important questions that most of them we struggle. The first thing that's important to consider here is that there are two ways through which actually you scale up your work in the social sector. One is the simple multiplier approach, where you increase your work by certain numbers or by certain geographies. You work in 20 villages, then you scale to 400 villages, or maybe working in a state and then you expand to another state to work with certain communities. Now, the challenge of this type of scale is that you need a lot of financial and human resources to replicate and spread. And any progress in this direction needs sufficient donor support, which might be difficult in today's time. And this is something most NGOs are actually struggling in India. The other scale-up solution is that you have a successful model or an end-to-end solution with a flexible and easy to adopt operational framework, which is much easier and has potential to rapid scaling across geographies. Now, to tap the potential of large scaling, the only way it can be done is through proper integration in the government programs, because that's large, for which you have to have required understanding and capacity of working with the government. These are broad challenges. And particularly in a country like India with a federal structure of governance where you have specific state subject, national subjects, you have to have clarity on various contexts, the government apparatus, institutions, how to mobilize critical support, above all, clarity on influencing policy, so that a feasible model can be scaled and institutionalized. I think these are like the broad areas that we are struggling with.
Thank you, Avinash. Thank you for your information. And Dr. M. Prabhakar has one question. Is it possible for the replication and scaling up of climate smart model or NICRA model by corporates? If so, what are the prerequisites?
Yeah, definitely yes. Since we have the technologies and the network and the knowledge base, so if the CR can provide funds, we can find the implementing agencies, whichever place you would like to have, and give all the technical backstop. So that's quite possible, and it should happen, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Dr. Ravishankar also has one question. Is it possible for 6 into 4 intervention of IFS in dryland ecosystem?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, this is very much possible. These 6 modules which we suggest, these are already 3-4 modules are already practiced by the farmers, and all the 6 modules are essentially required for ensuring the sustainability of the dryland farming. And the approach in this under dryland systems, it should be centered around the water harvesting, fisheries and pond management, and followed by the other modules, supplementary modules and horticulture and all those things, because this can cope up the farmers with the risk mitigation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ravishankar. Thank you very much. Now, actually, some more questions are there. Because of the paucity of time, I think we may not be able to answer all the questions. We will wind up this question and answer session. And today, actually, each project discussed today is very unique in terms of its design and also implementation and benefits. And each project was very innovative in its way. All these projects are addressing but overall, all these projects are addressing the burning issues of the society or environment. So, but major success criteria for replication, to sum up, are identifying and promoting appropriate and successful project is one of the important things, and networking and partnership building is another one of the important factor, and extension training and capacity building is also one of the important success factor, and favorable institutional mechanism and policy support, that is also one of the important factor, and enhanced access of technology innovation and infusion of sufficient fund and working with the community for sufficient period of time. These are all some of the success factor for if anybody is willing to replicate and also upscale the project. So with this, I thank all the stalwarts and panelists for giving a wonderful presentation and sharing your experiences and taking time for coming here to the addressing the participants. I immensely thank each and one of the panelists for valuable time and also your experience sharing. I also immensely thank all the participants. There are almost more than 200 participants were there for entire this session for 2.5 hours. I take this opportunity on behalf of Manage and also on behalf of BIMTech. I sincerely thank all the participants for their interest and also their participation. And also I sincerely thank BIMTech as a collaborative partner, and I especially Sarma Saab for success of this program. In between, he talked to all the panelists so many times. He was communicating to everyone, and even participants, he was communicating extensively. So I sincerely thank Sarmaji, and also Mr. Arif. He was doing all the background work for mobilizing so many participants, and also Ranaji. He is not there now with BIMTech, and he is in UK, but still he was participating. He was also interacting now. So I sincerely thank all the BIMTech team, and also I also thank our team, Manage team. Dr. KCG was also sharing and contributing, and my team, Mr. Vincent and also Dr. Anju, for their support and collaboration for successful conduct of this program. So this big thanks to one and all for making this program very successful.
Dr. Bala, it is for all panelists as well as for the participants. Besides the questions which were of similar type, which were put under category,
yes,
but still we have received about 61 questions, different questions from the participants. And for consumption of all the participants as well as panelists, all those questions have been already answered.
Okay, good. Thank you.
That has been done under the question and answer icon. Those were coming. Those were which were covered under these category of questions, those were removed, and the rest 61 questions have been answered.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you all. I think many participants were asking the PowerPoint, and if the resource person, panelists are sharing, definitely we can share with them.
We will have a review, and what can be done, that will be done.
Thank you, one and all. Now I request Mr. Arif to close the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to all, and Dr. Bala.
Yes, sir.
A special thanks to Ma'am.
Yes, sir. Special.
Yes, who had spare time for connecting from Myanmar.
Yes, sir. Really.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.